Hi, I'm Jenna, and this is episode 54. So I'm a day late this week. I had a dental appointment in 2 weeks, and they called me yesterday morning and said, hey, we have a cancellation. Would you like to come in? And I'm like, heck yeah, let's get this over with. And I guess I shouldn't have been so anxious because it just was not good news the whole way around. So just really stressing about that. Trying to keep it up and be in a great mood. I've kind of had a rough week, but I figure you're not here to hear me whine about my week. But first off, I want to thank everybody for the wonderful Valentines that I got on Valentine's Day. I think it's so much fun that Ravelry does that with the vintage Valentines, and it was just so much fun. I had so much fun sending them out and receiving them, and a huge thank you. And then I almost feel like I owe my husband an apology because, so my printer died, as I talked about last week, when I was showing my printout thing. So I was like, hey, I totally know what you can get me for Valentine's Day. And he's like, what? I'm like, a new printer. I was like, I took it apart and no luck. So, Wednesday he ran to the store and everything, had some stuff he had to go do. And he went and he bought me a new printer. So Wednesday night I'm thinking, oh, that's so awesome. I got what I wanted and what I needed. I mean, I can't live without a printer. And, I was just all excited. I was like, oh, this is the perfect Valentine's Day gift. It was something I needed that I would have all been like, we need one anyways. So, made it easy for him. But when I got up Thursday morning, because he leaves before I get up usually, there were roses sitting on our dining room table with a card. So, he totally surprised me. It had been like 10 years since the man has bought me flowers. So, but he was like, I felt bad because he usually gets me like some candies. We have an amazing chocolatier place here, and he usually gets me candy, but he knows I can't eat it right now. So he didn't want to do that to me, so he bought me flowers. So I thought that was really sweet. I had posted a picture on Plurk, and someone's like, oh, your husband must have watched your podcasts, and he didn't. He's never watched one. He goes, I hear about your knitting all the time. I don't need to watch a video of you talking about it. So, huge thank you to him. Like, go hubby. Woo. Okay, we have prizes to give away. I went ahead and I drew the numbers and looked up the names. I didn't cheat. I have no reason to cheat. So, I'm going to go ahead and give those out. So, pay attention if you entered for anything. So, the first prize we're giving away is a Girl Cave bag in lemons. This was generously donated by the wonderful Susan, who's Rista1313 on Ravelry. And, so, it's really cute. It's got the lemons, the retro lemon fabric that I love so, so much. And you get a cute little Lolo bar sample lined with the beautiful yellow fabric. Super cute. I love her bags. I love her bags so much. And then, this Saturday, February 24th, you're not going to believe this if you haven't heard, because I think it's awesome. Okay, so at 10:30 Eastern, Dancing Dog Dye Works is having a special Girl Cave bags colorway, which is gorgeous with yellow, or not yellows, greens and pinks. And then at 12:35, so 5 minutes later, Eastern, she's having matching bags. Like, whoa, I want to go get both. I'm trying to save money and be a good girl because I have a trip to go on, but they make it so hard. So you can get this very wonderful Cave Girl bag if you are the winner. And so I pulled the winner. The winner was number 53. And number 53 was Silly Frou! Yay, Wendy! I'm so excited. Silly Frou makes me laugh. I adore her face. And I was so excited to see when she was the winner. So yay, Frou! So, PM me with your name and address and I will get this out to you. Okay, the second prize that was up for grabs was the beautiful skein of Desert Vista Dye Works in the Ladybug colorway that I inspired. It is variegated. You get 490 yards. That's ridiculously amazing amount of superwash merino, and the winner was number 29, who is TG Knits. So TG Knits, please contact me with your full name and address so I can send you your yarn. The third prize is the Share Needles t-shirt from tangledness.com in the size medium. The winner for this was number 21, who is Phoenix Fire. She's going to look so cute in this. So, I'm just saying, a picture would be cute. That's all. So, Phoenix Fire, I know you have won in the past, but I don't save those PMs. So make sure you re-PM me your full name and address so I can get this out to you. And then, prize number 4, which is the very cute Nicole the Notorious Octopus, one of the original sample. This was the first one that came out right. Like, sometimes they're not the first. Sometimes parts get scrapped. That was number 36, and that is Engineer's Falcon. So, also, PM me full name and address, and Nicole will be on her way to you. Bloop, bloop, bloop. I love playing with toys. I better not play with that too much, because it's no longer mine. I'm going to, like, fondle up her toy. The fifth giveaway, which is for the cute tweed Molly the Turtle. The winner for that was number 34, who is Crochet Lily. So, Crochet Lily, please get me your address so I can send the traveling turtle traveling to you. And last, but certainly not least, with this cute face and piggy butt. I love the piggy butt. So many of you commented about me loving the piggy butts, but how can you not love that little curly cute tail? The winner for that was number 3, and I'm like, yay! Someone who, you know, because there were lots of, like, middle people and then people, but I like seeing the beginning people win, too. So, okay. I am so sorry if I'm going to mispronounce how your Rav name is supposed to be said, because I'm not very good at that. And unless if it's, like, plainly easy, I flub it up. So, okay. I think it's Komen Chu, M-N. Anyways, your name is Susan. I looked it up, and I believe today is your birthday? I saw on Rever it was yesterday. Anyways, you have a Priscilla, the Persnickety Pig, coming your way. So just PM me full name and address, like everybody else, and this piggy will be whizzing its way to you. So, somebody had posted in the Rav board. It's so hard because, like, I ask you questions and for you to respond to in the prize thread, but sometimes I get a question and I want to respond so bad, but somebody had asked about the name of Priscilla the Persnickety Pig. And it's so funny because so many pigs are named Penny. Because, you know, there's piggy banks, you put pennies in them. So I had to come up with something different, but persnickety is not a word that I normally hear anybody use, but growing up my mom used it. My mom would be like, so-and-so is kind of persnickety. And so when I had the pig, I was like, oh, it has to be a persnickety pig, because it's just one of those words that I knew growing up, but I never heard anyone else refer to someone as being persnickety but my mother. I don't know if that's good or bad. So I had to work that in. So then when thinking of a name, I'm like, well, it's a Persnickety Pig, so I kind of needed a P name, and I knew Penny would be out. And I was like, oh, Priscilla, because I knew a girl once named Priscilla, and she was kind of persnickety. So, for the persnickety pig giveaway, my question was, is there a question you've been wanting to ask me? So, there were some good ones that haven't been asked before. I don't want to like rehash questions that have been asked before, and I'm sorry if you were the one that asked the questions, but there's some Q&A in previous episodes. A lot of people asked what the next pattern is, so that's in a different part of the list of the notes, but I'll go ahead and talk about it really quick since it's probably the most common question asked. Okay, so if you ordered the RetroLemonStudio yarn from Dancing Dog Dye Works, you should have gotten a shipping notice yesterday or today. I got one today because I had to order myself some sock yarn. So that should be shipping out this week of the 19th. No, 18th. Yeah. Anyways, so today's February 21st, so they're shipping out the 20th and the 21st, and if there's any that haven't gone out these 2 days, they should be going out tomorrow, the 22nd at the latest. So you should be getting it early next week. So, the pattern I'm designing with the yarn, I think it's done. I have tweaked this pattern. It's actually one of those patterns that I've been wanting to make, and I've kind of started it a few times, and I frogged it. And then months ago, when Michelle and I were talking of a colorway, I pretty much knew this was the pattern I wanted to finally get all the bugs worked out and make with this yarn. So when you see it, I think you'll see why, because it's so me in so many ways. And everyone wants a hint of what it is, and the only hint that I will give you is that it's an animal. So no robots this time, no monsters, no aliens. It's an animal. And I think this morning, like I said, I've had a rough couple days. And the past week has just been not ideal for my mindset that I need to design. But this morning I was like just trying to refocus everything. Just trying to take it one day at a time. And I kind of got in the zone, and I think I finally figured out what I was stuck on. Because what I was stuck on, just no matter what I did, it would either be too big or too small, and it wouldn't fit together, and it was frustrating. So, I'm hoping this weekend I will finish up any little bugs, and I don't know how many samples I should do for this pattern. I normally like to have 3 or 4. When I do clubs, I only get 1. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to take the time to make more samples. I've been over the numbers. The numbers work. I've read it a few times to double check everything. So I think it's good. I think the pattern is done. There's a little bit of assembly left to do, double check. So I'm going to say tentatively Monday or Tuesday of next week, because I also need the weather to cooperate for me to get good pictures, because I don't like using a light box. I don't. I don't ever feel like my colors get as accurate. I think they always look a little flat in the light box, and I know that's something that a light box is supposed to prevent. It's supposed to give you good lighting everywhere. I like to go outside and take my pictures. That's what I do. All of my pictures that are done in natural light outside always look the best. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I will have some really nice, lightly overcast days where I can go out and get some good shots that are bright enough but don't have direct sunlight. So I'm going to say Monday or Tuesday next week the pattern will be out. So if you get your Dancing Dog Dye Works yarn and you're a little excited and want to start to cast on right away, just wait an extra day or two. If you have to. I mean, by the time some of you might get yours, it might be Monday or Tuesday. So just see the pattern first and then decide. Yay! So, another one that D McKnit stuff asks, it says, why do you say, I didn't realize I did this. I'm like, really? She asks, why do you say shawl instead of, alright, shawl. Okay. It says, shawl with an L. Is it a regional thing? Is it a different type of shawl? I've never heard it before. I'm from Oklahoma, Mississippi. So it's not a typical Southern or Midwestern thing. Is it a Jenna-ism? I've been wondering. It must be a Jenna-ism because I've never noticed that I don't get that L in there. In my head, the L is there. I think I have a hard time. It's shawl, and that L, I don't know why I have an issue with. So it's shawl to me. To me, in my head, I just said an L. Sorry if it doesn't sound that way. So, like I said, I guess it's a Jenna-ism, and I never realized I did that. I don't know. I think that's so funny. I'm kind of, like, embarrassed about it. I'm like, wow. I don't know. My husband says there's a few things I pronounce funny, and I don't know why. And then Polly81, who has a podcast of his own, asked me if I made the blanket behind me, and I did. In an earlier episode, it's probably one of the first episodes I did, which I look back now and like, oh, my first like few handfuls of podcasts were not real great because I was so nervous. But I did take it off the chair and show it, and it is all made out of Vanna's Choice, and it's a pattern that was free at Joann's, and it's on the Lion Brand website. I just followed the pattern. I just moved some of the squares around a little. The color, how many there were of certain ones. But yeah, I made it myself. Yay! Let's see. It says, is there a favorite designer or special person in your life that gives you inspiration to design or knit? And I think someone else had also asked if I had a favorite designer. Yeah, oh, my design. Anyways, I don't know that I necessarily get design ideas or inspiration from other designers. But there are other designers that I admire immensely. And probably one of my favorite toy designers is Susan B. Anderson. I think her things are amazing, and like she did a whole like farm book that was Bud and Chloe on the Farm, and I'm like, that is so much focus on one thing, and I give her credit for that because I can't do that. So I think she's pretty amazing, and I mean, she definitely inspires me, I guess, to want to be a designer like that, because she doesn't just do toys, she's a well-rounded designer, and I would like to be that kind of designer one day. Someone asked how many softies I've knitted so far. I have no idea. I've definitely knit over probably close to 200, I'd say. If you want to go count on my Ravelry page, you can. Because I think almost all of them are there except for like the really bad first ones I did that like nobody will ever see. My kids, they're probably buried in the toy boxes somewhere. And some of my flubs. Oh, what are your favorite and preferred sources for eyes, noses, and such? I buy all of my plastic eyes pretty much now from the Etsy seller 6060. It's 6060. So that is where anymore I buy all my stuff. I had bought some plastic eyes from Hobby Lobby and they wouldn't stay snapped. I mean, they were junk. Now the ones that are at Joann's seem to be the exact same ones that the Etsy seller has, but they're more expensive. When you break it down per set of eyes, it's just cheaper to go through Etsy. And she has like every size, all kinds of noses, so it's just easier for me. And then I don't have to go to a Joann's because I don't have one close. Someone asked if I had a favorite / new locale recipe that I could share. In the weight loss and health thread, or weight and health thread, I posted my creamy vegetable soup recipe. It's only 2 Weight Watchers points per serving, and the calories are so low. I think it's like maybe 100 calories a bowl or something like that, or 120. So, and it's also, I posted it on Weight Watchers as well. But, that's my favorite. We eat that a lot. We like vegetable soup. Creamy vegetable soup. Does my family ever watch my podcast? Not usually. My kids will watch it like when I'm editing over my shoulder. They'll be like, wait, no, stop there. I want to see the rest of that. Someone asked how I got started designing. You know, I just one day was playing around, and that's how it started. And then my little blobs of stuff started kind of looking more like stuff, and it was a lot of trial and error. I mean, even now, I think I know how to get something a certain shape, and I end up being totally wrong. And so, it's just, you gotta keep trying. And I think that goes with anything, whether you design socks or shawls or sweaters, you're gonna have some flubs, big time. Someone asked, what's my favorite hobby besides knitting? I love to read. I read a lot. I feel like I haven't been reading a whole lot lately. But I try to read every night before I go to bed, because I think reading is important. I definitely do a lot of other crafts, because I know that's another question. What other crafts do I do? I sew, I scrapbook, I do embroidery. I don't like cross stitch because all those little X's make me cross-eyed. So I love to embroider. I can crochet. I love to bake. I can't cook for anything. Let me tell you, I am a horrible cook, but I love to bake. And there is a huge difference between baking and cooking. Someone asked what the very first thing I knitted or crocheted, and do I still have it? The very first thing I ever crocheted was a scarf, and I ended up giving it to my daughter's teacher one year as a Christmas present. I feel really bad about that now because it was not good. But I was really proud of it at the time. And then somewhere, I crocheted or knitted this much of a scarf, and it floats around here somewhere. I don't know where I crammed it recently, but I never finished it, but I do have that first little bit. Let's see. Oh, someone asked what kind of music I listen to. I'm like, oh, that's a new one. I listen to a lot of things. There's really only one thing I don't listen to. Well, I guess maybe you could say two. Okay, so I don't like country music. I don't like country music at all. I wasn't raised with country music, and I don't find it appealing. I know a lot of people like it, but that's just me. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't like the things that I like. So, and then I don't like techno music. I'm like, I could never get into that. But other than that, I like pretty much everything else. I actually have like a secret passion for opera. But what I'm listening to, I guess you'd say, like what's in my CD player right now. I'm slightly obsessed with, the Mumford & Sons Babel CD. Like, big time obsessed. Like, it's the CD in my CD player right now in the house. It's the CD in my CD player in the car. Because I downloaded it off iTunes, so I just made a copy for each place. And, but if you were to ask me what my all-time favorite band was, and I know a lot of people will have no idea who these people are, and if you do, you'll scratch your head, because I don't think I'm pegged as this kind of person. My favorite band ever is Tool, and we see them every time they come to Ohio. We actually have a friend who has a brother that works for them, and we get, like, second row center stage seats every time they come. So far. Like, knock on wood here. Next time they come, we probably won't get those amazing seats. But we've gone and seen them several times. Every time they come to Ohio. So, it's been a while. It's been a few years. Okay, and I guess that's pretty much anything that's new. So, I feel like I talked about questions forever. But I think it's fun, and a lot of people have said they've kind of missed it. So, a little more about me. Just a reminder, the cable knit-along, you have like 6 days to get those in from when I'm recording, since I'm recording a day late. So February 27th at noon is when I will be locking the thread, right before I record, and get them in. I think this has been really fun. So many people have found this to be motivating, and they've gotten sweaters done and hats done and mittens and so many things. And I'm so proud of all of you who have finished all your projects, but especially those who were like, oh yeah, I have this sitting here, it's time to get it done. Because I think knit-alongs are really helpful when that happens. So our next knit-along, as we move into March and April, we are going to have a crochet knit-along. That is going to be the next technique. So you can kind of start brainstorming about what you're going to want to start March 1st. Or we can even open it up February 28th. That's fine. We'll just go ahead and open it up February 28th, so you get an extra day, since we're closing the cables thread. I'm perfectly fine with you finishing up projects. I kind of would like to see, like, alright, if you have a crocheted project and you're just going to be finishing one, try to have maybe like a little ways to go on it. I'm not going to say quite halfway or anything like that. But, you know, just try to make sure you get some of that crocheting in there. Let's see. It has to be completely crocheted. So, no knitting. Like, you can't go, I'm going to knit a dishcloth and just put a crochet edge on it. That doesn't count. It needs to be a completely crocheted item. So, you can do a dishcloth. You can do a little stuffy. You can do a sweater or a blanket. That is completely up to you, the size of the project you want to do. So, I mean, dishcloths are always great if you're just starting out. Same thing with the little crocheted amigurumis. They work up really quick as well. So, March and April's technique this year is crocheting. Yay! I know, I'm so rusty at it now. It's been a while since I've crocheted. So, I'm like, oh, I gotta bust out the hook, and I'm going to try to get a blanket done. So, because crocheting goes so much faster. It would take me forever to knit just like a twin size blanket, but I think I can crochet one pretty fast, because I would like to make a blanket for each of my kids. And like I said, there's no way I'm gonna knit 3 blankets, but I think I can crochet them pretty quick. And then I will open up a thread where we can vote on what our March toy knit-along will be. So I will go ahead and list, but I'm going to take out Priscilla the Pig, I think. Just because I'm like, I don't think people would want to do Priscilla the Pig 2 months in a row, like January and March. But I know not everybody that votes ends up participating. So I think just to level the playing field a little, we'll take out Priscilla the Pig. And then I might put in the new pattern. It'll just say new pattern unknown, and you can vote on that if you want. And then that, no matter what it'll be, will be the knit along. Okay, I have no finished objects this week. I do have 2 works in progress. The first one is a new works in progress. And so I really didn't have a works in progress I wanted to take with me while I waited at the dentist. So I'm like, oh, I'll start some socks, because I figured I'd probably be waiting for a while. This is all I got done. It was so snowy and nasty yesterday, so I think they had a few cancellations or something, or people were running late. Because I'm like, why do I have 4 needles? I must have been in the middle of a row when they called me back. This is all I got done. I started the cuff. That's it. So the green I'm using right now is Knit Pick Stroll in the grass colorway. Got a little yarn bark. And I am using it with Knit Picks Felici in the Time Traveler. So I'm going, and it's in my Doctor Who bag. So this is the better side. The TARDIS is more centered. So it's in my Croquet Bags Starry Night TARDIS bag. And the Time Traveler socks with Knit Picks doesn't have green in it, like the scarf. So I decided I'm going to make the cuff, the heels, and the toe with the green, and then just stripe, the stripes on the leg and the foot. So that way it'll look more like the Doctor Who striped scarf. So not a whole lot of progress on that. But I love that I got a new purse, and this fits in my new purse. This is about all that will fit in the one section. It's not as big of a purse as my old one. It's going to take some getting used to. And then the other works in progress that I got to this week, I didn't work anymore on my shawl for the retreat because I just didn't have a lot of time. I didn't knit a whole heck of a lot this week. This is like a total cluster. Never mind. A cluster of a mess. So this is my vitamin D. I am knitting it out of Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the window pane colorway. And, okay, so I did the top part, and then I separated for the sleeves. Now, the pattern says, you know, you can go ahead and knit the sleeves first, which I'm like, I'm just going to do that because when the body's done, I'm just going to want to be done with it. I'm not really going to want to have to go back and knit the stupid sleeves. That sounds sorry. I'm calling them stupid sleeves. So I got one sleeve done. And here's all my stitch markers because I count the rows. So I don't just like to measure a sleeve because I'm like, it could be off a row or two or more, you know, depending on how you measured it the first time or what your gauge was. So I actually went and put stitch markers and counted all my rows and decreases. So then I can put them in the exact same spots on this sleeve. So, completely done with the first sleeve, about a third of the way done with the second sleeve, and then I can start the body. So far, I'm really liking this pattern. I'm loving the yarn. I've never used the Tosh Merino Light before. It is a single ply, and I was kind of worried about using a single ply, but everybody assured me that the Tosh Merino Light is like magic yarn, and it doesn't get real pilly, and it feels so nice, and I think it's going to be so drapey. But God, it smells like vinegar. I just like get a little whiff, and I'm like, ooh, very vinegary. Then, okay, so I ordered 5 skeins. I'm hoping I only will really need 4, but it's kind of borderline with yardage. So, and I am going down a size. I decided to go down a size smaller than what I need right now, hoping that by the time I'm done with this and it's time to wear it, because it'll definitely be a light, breezy cardigan, that I will fit into a size smaller. I am so nervous about that, like big time nervous. So anyway, so I lined all 5 of the skeins up, and they looked pretty spot on with each other. There was one skein that kind of stuck out to be slightly lighter. I was like, okay, well, I'll set that one aside. That'll be the backup skein. Well, okay, so I split from the sleeve. I don't know how obvious it is on the camera. It's obvious to me. So the other skein ends about here. When I went and joined the new skein was considerably darker. Like, it looked like it got wet. Sorry, I feel like I'm saying a lot. Anyways, so I ripped that back because I'm like, I don't like it at all. So then I'm like playing around with other ones and kind of swatched a little, and I ended up going with the lighter skein, the one that I had set aside and thought, well, I'll use it for a giveaway or in a swap or something if I don't use it. And so I went and I alternated a few skeins for a few repeats so it would hopefully fade more into it. But it is still, in my opinion, when you see the top and the sleeve, it's considerably lighter. But the other ones just, I'm going to have to alternate skeins. I really thought I was going to get away with not having to do it, and it proved me wrong. Stupid yarn. So those are my 2 works in progress. I have no no yarny goodness this week. I got nothing in the mail. But I promise I'll make up for it. Hopefully next week. Then I got so for some tools of the trade, I got some really cute stitch markers. It came in this little glass bottle. And a little cork. And so I have my little stuffing tool here. Try to put them on. Now, I don't normally buy a lot of stitch markers. At least not, okay. I know these aren't totally pricey. They were $8 plus $3 shipping. So that's $11 for these stitch markers. Now normally I'm just like, okay, I'm going to sound cheap, and I think that is a bit pricey for stitch markers that I totally am horrible about losing. So I have some stitch markers that people have sent me that are so beautiful that I'm terrified to use them because I don't want to lose them. But these I'm definitely going to use. Trying to get them all lined up there. So these are from Little Skein on Etsy. That's the shop, Little Skein. I feel like my hand's shaking a little. So some of them are kind of like a bright aqua blue. Some are a bluish green. Some are a very pretty like sea green. And then one of them has a little bird. I love birds. And that's what really won me over. And then you could either get them in bronze or silver. And I went with silver. Let's see if you can see those. Anyways, you get a set of 8. So one has the little charm. That's how all of her sets are. There's one with a little charm, and then there's 7 of them that have the little, just a little bead. And the one with the charm has a bead as well. But I just thought these were so pretty, and I love birds, and they actually had been in my Etsy cart for quite a while, and I saw there was only one left. And I'm like, I'm sure if I PM'd her, she might, you know, be like, oh yeah, I can get some more of those little birds and make you some. And I'm like, you know what? No. I'm going to go and I'm going to treat myself to some stitch markers. And they came really fast, and I can't believe this little bottle didn't break because my mailman, I think, hates me, and sometimes I swear he, like, stomps on my packages or something. I get boxes that look like they've been through hell and back. But that came all in one piece, thank goodness. And then I have nothing spun up. I have nothing on the bob. I have had no spinning time whatsoever. And now I feel like I am starting to get a huge accumulation of fiber. So speaking of that, for fiber goodness, I got my fiber club from Into the World. Oh, which I should tell you, if you don't have your Into the World and you don't want to see, you might want to look away. Oops. Now I think about telling you that. I would think pretty much everyone's gotten theirs by now. I got mine a couple days ago. Anyways, it is called Take It to the Bridge, which I find rather amusing. So it is superwash merino, which that's always fun to spin. It usually will spin pretty fine. And this, okay, honestly, the first thing that I thought of when I saw this, it's like a brighter version of the Downton Abbey Lorna's laces. Like the Christmas at Downton. Because it's got, like, it has, like, black in it. The Lorna's Laces has, like, black and gray. And then the Lorna's Laces has plum. It has plum. And then the Lorna's Laces has, like, a grayish blue and a sage green. So it's not quite grayish blue and sage green. But, like I said, it's like... It's like the Christmas at Downton, but brighter. Not that I'm complaining. I'm just saying. And I'm sure that's not what Chris intended at all. Because Chris of Into the World is fabulous. She's a wonderful person. I mean, the customer service at Into the World is great. I always have enjoyed my interactions with Chris. So this is the fiber. It is so pretty. It really is. It is just, it's going to be fun to see such dark colors, like the plum. It's kind of a plum, kind of a deepish grayish purple, and the black blend with the bright green and the pops. It's kind of almost a periwinkle blue. Not really a grayish blue, but like a periwinkle. And I cannot wait to see these spun together. This normally probably wouldn't be something I would be like, oh, I want to go buy that. But I think that I have it. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to destash this one. Because I love superwash merino as a fiber. And I want to see the dark with the light mix. I am going to make this so crazy barber pole. And I think it is going to be fabulous. I'm excited about it. And that's all the fiber I got, because I'm trying not to buy any fiber. It is so hard. I've decided to pass. on this current round of the Loop Spin Along Club. Only because 2 of the colorways are blue. They're like blues and grays and blues and white. Very wintry. Not me. I mean, they're just not me at all. And then the other one, it's like brown and plum, and once again, it's not really me, and I would rather go and buy a loop bump that I totally was crazy in love with instead of one that I was like, oh, it's pretty, but I don't know what I would make with it. So I opted not to do that this time. I don't know. I figure, you know, maybe, you know, that's the nice thing about the club is it's not, you don't have to do it. They're made by the, you know, they're not pre-made, they're made to order, and I can't wait to see what the next one is in a few months. So, I gotta get spinning. I need to spin so bad. I want to spin. I just haven't had the time. So, that's it for the normal show. So I have something else that I want to talk about. It's kind of fitness and health related, but not exactly. I don't know. It's going to be hard for me to talk about. If you don't want to hear me blabber on about personal stuff, and there's kind of like a story and it's not a happy story, but I don't want to be a downer, so if you want to go and tune off now and see me next week, I'll see you then. Feelings are totally not hurt. And if you were a prize winner, please make sure you contact me so I can get those out in the mail. I don't really have anything new health and fitness wise this week. This week has been a struggle because I've been so stressed, but I've been able to stick to it. So along with celebrating the Podiversary this past week, the official Podiversary was Saturday. So that was exciting, you know, when I realized it. But also this past week, it was the anniversary of my dad's passing. So it's been 4 years, and I guess in a way you could say it's gotten easier. And in a way, it definitely has not. You know, losing a parent is never easy, but my dad went so young. And I guess in a way this is related to my health and fitness journey, because you might think that I might have started trying to lose weight and to get into better shape for maybe vanity reasons. I mean, of course, I would like to be thinner. Of course, I would like to look better in my clothes. But it goes way beyond that. And I didn't know that I wanted to share this because it's extremely personal and I might cry. I have tissues standing by just in case. Because I made the decision that I want to share my dad's story because it is the biggest motivation for me. And maybe hearing his story will be a motivation for you. So, I would like to preface all this with saying I was not the best daughter. I love my dad very much, but I am stubborn to the core. Anybody who knows me in real life will tell you I'm probably one of the most stubborn people on the planet. My husband is like, not necessarily a bad way, but my dad was also stubborn. And I guess the relationship we had the last few years before he passed was a very cats in the cradle kind of relationship where I felt put off at times because my parents divorced when I was young. And then as I got older, I kind of put him off in return. I regret that. I have regrets about that so much, but I can't go back and change it. So, I got a call one day that my dad was in the hospital and he had had a heart attack. So, okay, how is he? You know. And the response was, he's dying. Wow. It totally, I felt like my heart stopped. So, trying to wrap my head around the magnitude of how bad it was comes from how young my dad was. My parents married right out of high school. right as high school ended. Actually, my mom had a little bit left. My dad was a little older, just by like a year. And I was born almost exactly on their first wedding anniversary, just off by a few days. So my parents were quite young when they had me. So when my dad had his heart attack, he was 46. So think about that. 46. Massive heart attack. So they took him up to the Cleveland Clinic, and I was actually on my way up there as they were getting ready to transport him by helicopter. So by the time I got up to Cleveland, his helicopter was just landing, and I was the first one there. So I was in the room, and the specialist came in, and they were talking about basically what caused the heart attack. And what it was undiagnosed diabetes. Now, he was a heavy smoker. He was probably like a 2-pack-a-day smoker. He definitely did not eat healthy. He didn't exercise. He wasn't a very big man, though. He was 5'4", 5'3", 5'4". Not a very tall guy. And he wasn't heavy, necessarily. He had, I guess you'd say, a beer belly, although my dad wasn't a drinker. My stepmom was just a good cook. So as I'm standing there, and the doctor is asking him, well, you know, did you notice frequent trips to the bathroom? He's like, well, yeah, but I'm pushing 50. Well, do you have, like, tingling in your hands and feet and some numbness? Yeah, but I'm a mechanic, and I just thought it was arthritis. And what about your eyes? Well, yeah, I know, I needed to go and get my eyes checked. And he had every symptom of a diabetic. The excessive thirst, you name it, he had it. His sugar was 620. They said they didn't understand how he didn't stroke out because his sugar was so high. I'm standing there dumbfounded. On my mom's side of the family, I come from like a family of nurses and healthcare providers, and I'm dumbfounded. Like, I'm like, really? So, by the time he got to the Cleveland Clinic, his heart was half dead. The damage was so extensive, there was nothing they could do. They put him in a medically induced coma, and they put him on the heart transplant list. So then we're getting, you know, finding out he's at the top of the transplant list. He's #1, and we are so hopeful, and I am so excited, and I am so relieved until things turned for the worse. Unbeknownst to us, my dad had a blood clotting disorder. Something he was probably born with that he didn't even know he had. So when they were doing all the surgeries, he started throwing clots. So it was a snowball effect. His heart attack was due to an unhealthy lifestyle, but also due to undiagnosed diabetes. In the end, it was a blood clot that took him. He ended up throwing a blood clot, and he stroked out, and we lost him. So, my journey is not for vanity reasons. I don't want to end up that way. So, I am not a diabetic. Not yet. I have avoided that so far. But there was that fear. That was that fear of, you know, I had put on extra weight last year. Last year was a stressful year. And when my dad first passed, all of a sudden, I was like, we are eating healthy, and we are doing this, we are doing that. And then, I think, the grief caught up with me. The grief caught up with me, and being the emotional eater that I am, I put on even more weight. So finally, at the end of last year, I was at my heaviest that I've ever been. And I was unhappy with myself, and nothing was fitting, and all I can think of is 30. I am 16 years away from the age my dad was when he passed away. Do I want only 16 more years? Not that I'm saying like I'm a ticking time bomb and I'm gonna pass away when my dad did. But if my dad knew at 30 what his fate was, would he have changed it? Would he have gone and taken the steps necessary to ensure that he had 40 more years? So it came down to that. It came down to finally, I've worked past the grief. I mean, I still miss him every day. I still have regrets that we were not as close as I would have liked. We never had a big fight. There was no falling out between us. I definitely just felt, you know, I was busy and he wasn't priority, and I felt he felt the same way, and we went about our lives. So I decided, finally, after being frustrated, by the end of last year, I was kind of depressed and I was frustrated, and it's like, you know what? I need to undo what I've done before it's too late. So, when you think about it, my dad's life was half over at 23. So if you are in your early 20s and your health is not the best, is that it? Is that all you want? Is 40 some years? And then think of yourself in your 30s. Do you want only 10 or 15 more? If you're in your 40s and you're really not healthy, are you ready to go? So I think if you're looking for motivation, you need to ask yourself the hard questions. Because that's finally to the point where I got. I kind of felt like I had hit rock bottom. Like, this is it. I'm mad at myself for letting this happen. It's my fault and no one else's. I'd like to blame the fork, you know, but, you know, it's so hard. They're hard habits to break. Food addiction is just like anything else, and it's not easy, and it's so hard because, like, smokers, you quit smoking and you don't have to smoke to live. You have to eat to live. So, like I said, I shared this story with all of you because that is why this is so important to me. That is why I have been working so hard, because I guess I have just finally gotten in the point to my life where 15, 16 years is not enough. 20 years is not enough. 30 years at this point in my life is not enough. I want more. I want to watch my children grow up. I want to grow old with my husband. I want to see my grandchildren one day. And that's what it comes down to, because my dad had remarried and they started a family and they have children my children's age. He left behind not just me, who was a 26-year-old adult at the time. He left behind kids, little kids, not even teenagers yet. And that's not fair to them. So if you are experiencing any kind of symptom that's not normal, get it checked out. Get it checked out in case if it is diabetes, in case if it is something else. I mean, I'm not saying it could just be diabetes. I'm saying it could be so many other things. Take care of yourselves. Get up and get exercising and get fit. And it's hard. It is so hard. This week has tested me to my limits where I don't want to work out and I just want to shove some chocolate in my mouth and savor it and just sit there with a whole pint of Ben & Jerry's and a spoon, and And I can't, and I haven't, and I'm really proud I've stuck to it as much as I might even be crabby. My husband's probably like, oh dear God, someone give her some ice cream. So I understand it's hard, and that is why I started the health and weight loss thread so long ago, over a year ago. Or it might have been over a year ago, or around a year ago in the group. And that's why I'm talking about it and sharing it with you. And so many of you, I mean, the amount of PMs and posts in the groups and plurks and everything with people saying how much they appreciate it and how inspiring it is and how motivating it is has meant so much to me that I felt you all deserve to know the story behind what motivates me the most. I mean, like I said, I'm excited about new clothes, and I'm excited about feeling better about myself, and I feel better. Like, I don't ache as much, and I don't just feel like crap as much. I get up every day with a little bit more energy and just feeling better about life. And I wish I would have done it sooner. I so wish I would have done this sooner. I wish 4 years ago when it all happened and I was like super like, I was like reading boxes and counting calories and carbs and like I think I drove my husband nuts with it for like 3 months solid of, he called me the food Nazi because I was all like, that's not even coming in our door. You know, we go to the grocery store and I'm like, did you see the nutrition information? And I think I drove him nuts. I think he's a very patient man and he's unbelievably patient with me. I think he was almost on his last straw during that. And I wish I would have not necessarily stuck to that way of life, but I think I wish I would have made the changes then. Instead of 4 years later where now I'm sitting here 20 pounds heavier and working harder to get that, just that first 20 pounds off that I've gained in that time. You know. So, like I said, that's what motivates me. That's what keeps me going, is thinking I can't end up that way. Even though I would like to say I wouldn't be in denial about the symptoms and I would go and get taken care of, I can't say that because I don't know. Because I'm just as stubborn as anyone else and I hate going to the doctor. So, I don't want to ramble on about it anymore as I feel that I already have. But so many of you have shared your stories that I feel that I had to share the rest of mine. So, I hope somebody out there hears my story and my dad's story and makes a change. Because you don't want to end up that way. You don't want to leave your loved ones that way. And even if it's not now, even if it's not 10 or 15 years, if it's down the road, it all takes its toll on you so bad. Even if you're thin and just not eating healthy and not exercising. I mean, thin people can have just as many health problems as somebody who's overweight. So, like I said, I'm not concentrating on a size or a number on the scale. I just want to be healthy. I mean, I don't have like an official goal, like I want to be a size 6 or I want to be 140 pounds or, yeah, it's not that to me. It's just trying to make myself better and trying to be the best me that I can be. And so I can be there for my kids and my family and my friends because they mean that much to me and I know I mean that much to them. So, now that I've cried and feel like I've blubbered on and I'm not even going to watch this part back, I don't think, because I'll just cry again. Like I said, thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart, all the people who have shared their stories. It has meant so much to me. It has helped motivate me and keep me going on this journey, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the new friends that I've made doing this. And thank you all. Thank you for letting me share my story if you have hung in here this far. So that is it for me this week. I will see you next week. Bye.